Welcome back to Igniter SMP. I'm Solo, and we're going to stand here until all of this copper is oxidized. No, I'm kidding. We don't have time for that. We have too much work to do today. We're going to build a fully automated piglin farm, as well as an awesome build to store all the drops in. It's going to be really epic. But first, we got to collect some resources. So enjoy this montage. That's French for montage. This is the path that leads from our mega base to our guardian farm, and that's our guardian portal right there. And I've decided I want to build the bartering farm right about in this area. That way the overworld storage will be near the guardian farm, making the whole area a sort of water industrial district, which I think is pretty cool. We can put like a mob farm out there and maybe a fish farm and other things, and have everything neatly located around the same area for convenience. As you saw in the montage, we collected a bunch of thingamabobs and whatchamacallits and woozits and whatsits and all of that glorious stuff. In theory, fully automated bartering farms are pretty simple. You need a gold farm that goes into auto crafters to craft them to ingots, and into a bartering farm, and then a collection system. Super simple, right? Yeah, we can do it. In fact, I've already done it in creative, not in survival yet. And to be honest, I haven't fully tested the farm yet. Hopefully it works, because I'm building it on a server in survival like right now. So it'd be really embarrassing if it completely doesn't work. But let's do it. What could go wrong? So first, I'm going to build the gold farm and the bartering farm and all the storage in between. And then after that, we're going to have to get piglins. And then after that, we're going to have to build a storage system in the overworld. Yeah, it's a lot of work. So let's just do it. as you can see, the gold farm is working, but unfortunately only the gold farm is working because, as you can see, there are no piglins in here for bartering. So we will take a closer look at this farm in a little bit, but first we are going to fly way over here somewhere. Hopefully I can find it. It should be right around in this area. Here we go, right here. And over here we're in a crimson forest, and that's so we can get some piglins. And the idea is that we are going to catch them in minecarts. So we need 8 of them, so I have 8 minecarts here running back and forth. And the idea is that if we just go up the scaffolding, it will despawn everything that's outside of our spawning sphere. So everything in the nether below. And hopefully mobs will spawn in that little box there. So it does look like we have some stuff down there. So what we're going to do now is go down there and shoot everything that is not what we want, like these piglins and stuff. And hopefully these guys don't shoot me. There's one with a crossbow. So we need to get rid of these guys. Man, they're loud. So we have 3 of them. That's a good start. I'm going to go ahead and get the other 5. And I actually have to fly back to my base and get name tags to name tag them so they don't despawn. But since these guys are in minecarts, they should be okay, so I'm not worried about that. But we're going to need them anyways. So let me go ahead and get the rest of them and the name tags, and then we will transport them to the farm and put them in. And just like that, we have 8 piglins. They're all named Bart. No, don't shoot each other. No. Oh, no. Hopefully we can get this done without them killing each other. Ideally, it would have been nice to have them all with swords, but we got 2 with crossbows. So if we lose one, we'll just have to do this again. But as you can see, I turned up the render distance so we can see where the farm is. It's pretty far away, a couple 100 blocks. And I set up this rail and set up some parking spaces way over there. So it should be just as easy as flicking the lever and sending them on their way. Let's go ahead and just kind of follow them. Make sure the chunks are loaded. Yep, there he goes. You having fun, buddy? Yeah? And he made it safely. So all I'm going to do is park them all here by just removing rails, placing rails, and doing the same thing. And once I have all 8 here, then we have to get them up into there, which is going to be its own puzzle. So let me do that real quick. Well, that was simple enough. We got all 8 over here, and I put these guys in glass so they wouldn't hurt me anymore. Hello, Bart. How are you doing? Nice. And I put up this little contraption here, just a ramp. And the idea is we're just going to minecart them and drop them into their little pods here. And hopefully all will go easy. So let's do this one real quick. There we go. Nice. And then the idea is that we're going to have to get down here and break the minecart, and hopefully he will stay in there. Should we do it? Yeah, let's do one. I'm nervous here because it's always the first one that goes haywire, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and break this just in case. And there should be nowhere else for him to go. Like, there's no solid blocks that are in, like, placement distance for him. Did I pick that up? Yeah. And let's see if we can break that minecart. Okay, good. Now he stays there. That minecart dropped. I don't know where that minecart went, actually. But he's in there, so don't do that. Stop it. Okay, so I want a piece of glass here, but his head's there, so we can't do that. So what we gotta do... Stop it, please, dude. I'm gonna give you lots of gold, just be nice. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and fall into the pod. I mean, at least he hasn't gotten out. So, that's better than I could imagine. And where are we? Okay. So let's break this. Let's get piston and redstone blocks. Put piston facing down. And put his head in glass. There you go. Sweet. That is pretty smooth. And I don't know where that glass probably... Oh, there it goes. The minecart, I mean. Alright, so that's that. Now he's in there. The only thing is this has to come out, and that's where the gold will land. Yeah, that was pretty smooth. Now let me just do that 7 more times. Look at him in there. We got all 8 of them in there, and to be honest, that was a lot smoother than I thought it was going to be. And we're not quite ready to run it yet. One, we need to stockpile some gold, get a backlog of it, and as you can see, the portal's not lit. Those rails are just in there to stop things from spawning in there for the moment. But we can't light this yet because we need to go to the other side and build someplace for all those items to go. And it's raining. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, we came out of the portal in our guardian farm. And so if we fly up over here, if it will load for me, you could see a little piece of island loading right there. But right here, this post right here, so right here on this post is got to be the center of our portal. So everything lines up. As you can see way off in the distance back there is the guardian farm. And then we have some islands right there. And then on the islands is where I've put all of the resources that we collect earlier for this build. It's pretty big just for a storage system, but we'll talk about it a little bit later after we build it. So let's hurry up and build it right now. Alright, it's time to take a look at it. Let's see if we can get through this without messing up too much and not stammering and rambling too much. So I'm up there in the AFK platform. This is the bulk standard gold farms, just magma blocks. Turtle eggs in the middle. And piglins are attracted to the eggs. There we go. They fall. They land down here. We collect the items. And we have a whole bunch of hoppers going into 3 droppers there. And it's just to handle the amount of drops that come through. We spit them out into this cobweb so they're somewhat aligned to the center. We drop them on the chest. And then we have alternating honey block and slime block, which aligns them to the edge of the block and then pushes them. That's just run on this little clock right here. And this conduit is there because it's the best block to block spawns on that one block right there. And yeah, it's pretty simple at this point. Then we have just impulse SV item sorters. We push the blocks along, they're aligned. Gold gets sorted out, all the rotten flesh gets thrown into the cactus there and gets deleted. Then we come down here and we funnel that gold into crafters here. This is a little bit of an overkill. With the amount of piglins this is spawning, you could get away with like 1 or 2. But this is basically in case I want to stockpile gold. These will fill up and move to the next. So I just have a crafter for each like storage system or sliver of the storage system. Since nuggets can only be crafted into ingots, we're just spamming them with observer clocks right here to spit out the ingots. The ingots could just get collected into these chests here. And that's basically the gold farm. Then we have hoppers running under it that will put the ingots into this chest here. Then we have a hopper minecart system that will pick up the ingots and load them and then send them across here, which is the bartering farm. And we appear to be out of gold at the moment. And this is just a bartering farm. It spits out ingots and then they drop their items here, goes into this dropper here, and then as they go through the hopper it also triggers to spit out another ingot. All the items get spit into the portal there. So we're gonna come down here to check out the rest of the stuff. So that's basically it. It's a gold farm that crafts gold into ingots. Then we load those ingots into a minecart and send them into the bartering farm here. And then we have a whole bunch of other circuits here. So this turns off the farm right here. It just pushes up that block and locks that clock there. So those pistons stop alternating. And it sends a line here all throughout the whole thing. And what this does is it turns off this redstone line, which turns off this clock here, which turns off all of the droppers spitting the items out. So yeah, that turns off that stuff. And it also turns on this torch, which pushes those observers up, which turns off the clocks for the crafters as well. When we turn on this thing, it sends a pulse this way, and this observer reads it, which triggers that once to spit out gold. Oh, there is gold in there now. So they're all trading. And we also have this that will lock that whenever it is off. So it won't spit any more gold if they throw stuff through. Let's go see if we can see them. Not really. They kind of did it. Yeah. So whenever you turn it on, it automatically triggers that and stops it. Whenever it turns it off, it locks it all. And it also locks this minecart by sending a pulse through here, up to here, and it locks the minecart in place so it's just not constantly running. And this is the gold farm only. So if we turn this on, we have the thing here, which locks everything, turns everything off that way. And if we turn this on, it also sends it there. But when we turn the farm back on, that line is still powered that way, so everything that direction is still turned off. And I have a line running up this way that locks these hoppers, so gold will collect in these chests now. So we can stockpile gold for other crafting ingredients and for whatever we want. And if we turn the gold only off, whatever's in here will start to drain into this chest for the bartering farm. And that's about it. And then that turns everything off. And to remember what the levers do, I put these really cool signs here. They're orange, like cubically. Anyways, let's go check out where these items go. So that's our guardian farm way off into the distance there. And this is our factory. I'm going to go into free cam mode to be able to check it out a little better. Turn that off. And this is it. It's just a factory floating kind of in the water. I need to bring the stone bricks down, but I'll get to that eventually. And this is a factory. One of my favorite art styles or architectural styles is Art Deco. And I decided I wanted to build in a different palette than the prismarine and the quartz that I've been building in all this season. And I wanted to build in something I really love. So I went with an Art Deco factory with a lot of brick and some terracotta and granite and even some dirt up there and a bunch of copper. And I really love how this turned out. I think it's a very beautiful build, but I'm a little biased. So let me know down in the comments what you think of the build. So all down here, it's basically like a dock, like a boat can pull up here. I'm thinking about maybe adding a couple of boats or something out here in the future. And we have like this little loading dock here. I went very minimal with the texturing, just some algae that's growing up from the ocean, which kind of makes sense. And then a little bit of worn path here where you would naturally walk. And everything else is pretty standard, plain. And the idea is to have the base of it really plain, so your eyes are drawn up into the more detail and the little extravagant, ornate, like archway there and the little spires and stuff. And it's basically just a technique to just draw your eye up. And I think it turned out really well. I'm really happy with it. This little platform goes all the way around the building. And inside we just have this one little door here. And this is the storage system. To start off, we have this nice rug here. I went with kind of like an Art Deco kind of modern rug design here that's just like a geometric design kind of. And I'm really happy with it. So everything from the bartering farm comes through this portal here, gets thrown into this water stream, and gets pushed around. They get aligned on the honey blocks here to be on the edge of the block to get picked up by all of the item sorters here. And it just wraps around into this other set of item sorters here. Anything that's not sorted out just goes into these chests right here. I have 2 of every item that I'm collecting and that is sortable. So like 2 quartz, string, iron, leather, blah, blah, blah. All the blocks over here. So this farm is really good for gravel, blackstone, and obsidian and soul sand. It's very useful. All of those blocks are useful, and we get a lot of them from here. And then also bricks, nether bricks here. But also this farm is good for quartz as well. All of this other stuff you can get in other ways, so they're just extra here. So anything that is not sortable and that I don't want to keep just gets thrown into these chests here, which spiral down, and you get things like potions, which are useful, books and stuff, ender pearls, which are not really useful because you get tons of them from ender farms, and water bottles, which aren't really useful. I mean, you could say they're useful for like, you know, a potion farm or something if you want to use it for that. And that's about it. You get some other stuff. But basically I can come in here and take whatever I want, like fire resistance potions, the books. Say I don't want any of that, Then I just have a trash can hooked up here so I can just drain these chests every once in a while once they get full. And then I don't have to worry about any of the garbage. And that's basically everything. I'm really happy it all worked. Once I lit that portal and tested the farm, I was worried that it was going to link up to the other portal at the Guardian farm or something wasn't going to be right. But I did all the maths right and it worked the first time, and I'm super happy about that. So real quick, I want to talk about future plans here. As you can see, there is a lot of space here for just this sorting system. And that's because I want to add more into here. So out here, we have our Guardian farm there, we have our bartering farm here, and we have all of this ocean area. So what I'm thinking is that, like, out over here or over here, adding a general mob farm, and then funneling the drops into its own sorting system in here, so that we have all of these drops in one little factory warehouse here. And then we could possibly, I don't know, add other farms out here. So this is a warm ocean, so this would be good for like a fish farm if we want to get a whole bunch of fish or blowfish for water breathing potions or anything. This is the perfect biome from that. I could put a tree farm out here if I want, or I could put any farm out here that is not necessarily biome specific, and then funnel them into another sorting system over here. So that's basically the idea, is to add more farms and make this little area kind of my industrial district, which I'm really excited for, and I hope you're excited for too. Let me know what farms you would build out here, or which farms you want to see me build out here, and maybe I'll do it. But until next time, remember to like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Okay, bye!